Much of South Africa has been plunged into darkness with load shedding. There are some areas where the lights have been out for even longer. One of those, of course, is Eldorado Park in Johannesburg. There's been no power for 5 days. Our reporter Katlego Legodi is live for us there this evening. Katlego, good evening. Give us a sense of what is happening there. We know that there was a fire at one of the substations within that area. We were, however, told that power was expected to be restored to residents within 24 to 48 hours.
Well, Kathy, it has been 5 days of no power for residents of Eldorado Park or surrounding areas. Indeed, we're hearing as well that this stretches as far as Freedom Park, and most of those residents have had to spend the Easter long weekend in the dark, and this as officials are hard at work on the ground to try to restore electricity. You are right, Kathy. It was expected to be restored within 24 to 48 hours, but we are told that, the heavy rainy weather conditions playing out in the city of Johannesburg, that played out as well throughout the weekend, disturbed the work here on the ground. I'm talking to you live from the Eldorado Park substation here in the south of Johannesburg, where men have been hard at work to try to restore power. I'm just going to show you what is happening here on the ground, Kathy. As you can see, the officials have been working hard at work. We are told that most of them even slept here, as we hear that, they've been working for about, 4 to 5 days now, trying to restore power. This is a substation that provides electricity to a number of residents around here, a number of communities around here, and most of them have been frequenting and visiting this area, Kathy, for the past 3 to 4 days, trying to understand what is happening here on the ground. We're just showing you the debris that is left behind from the destruction that was caused by that blaze that gutted this place on Friday, leaving most of the people here in the dark and desperate. You can see that this is something that the city of Johannesburg has been hard at work in trying to clamp down. Just about 2 weeks ago, we were with the city mayor, Mpopalate, just trying to assess what is happening on the ground in terms of their facilities in the city of Johannesburg. It's been about 6 months with this administration in charge of the city of Johannesburg, but they've endured a number of challenges on the ground, Kathy, in terms of their facilities that they say have been constantly under attack from elements, rogue elements, as investigations are also underway to try ascertain what is happening here. We are told that there may be a syndicate that is operating in this area, targeting city power facilities. Last week, it was Penningville. This week is this one here in Eldorado Park. There was one in the Johannesburg CBD that was also gutted, and officials are saying that they're working around counting the losses, really, from what has been happening here, as they try to also put a team together to just clamp down on what is happening here on the ground. But I must tell you that the damage that we are told, is here. We are told that about, it goes into millions, Kathy, as the city, try by all means to budget for, incidents like this. As you can see, Lesejo, my cameraman, just showing you there, the substation, parts of the substation that have been gutted. You can see that there are ashes on the ground, there's oil on the ground from the destruction that was left, by this incident that happened here on Friday. We are told that, this happened on Friday, as most of, people were expecting to enjoy with their families. They had to endure the fact of not having electricity for about 5 days now. Most of them are growing impatient. Earlier on, speaking to a ward councillor as well, Dwayne Podonsby, who was saying to us as well that, it's been inundated with, calls from community members as they try to understand what is happening here on the ground, as the City Power also, reaches out to community members to blow the whistle on any criminal elements or activities that may be happening here on the ground, to try and clamp down on criminal elements that are on the ground. Lesejo is just trying to show you what is happening on the ground. I'm going to be bringing into the conversation City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena, who just, try by all means explain to us what is happening here on the ground, as we know that officials have really been hard at work. So thank you for joining us on Newsroom 405. Welcome. Just let us in on what is happening here. We're seeing that, people were expecting for power to be restored, but that hasn't been happening. Most of them are growing impatient over the work that is happening here on the ground.
Work has been going well with the teams since the first day when the fires happened, basically spending sleepless nights sitting here, but also the rain that obviously was there in the past few days did not help the situation. But we've never really promised customers that we will switch them off on earlier. We always maintain that our deadline, based on the amount of work that is supposed to be done, will be Wednesday, and we are on the right track to ensure that power is restored by Wednesday. We have already done most of the work that is supposed to be done. We are this afternoon we started by energizing one of the transformers that will be used to provide electricity to those affected customers. The second one will be energized in the next coming few minutes, so that we are ready. It's just few work that is supposed to happen basically currently with the stringing of the cables from the feeder board to the RMU, so that we can be able to finalize that in terms of connection to the distributors, to those customers that are affected. So as I'm standing here right now, we are on the right track, and we are hopeful that we will be switch on the affected customers by early tomorrow morning.
Where are the investigations at? I mean, this is something that by 2 weeks ago already, we knew very well that your facilities were targeted. But here, it's an incident. We're back here at one of those substations where an incident happened. In terms of securities and in terms of your investigations, what are you getting?
The teams of investigators were on site from the time when fire started to basically gather any evidence that will basically point to us what really happened, the cause of the fire, and also the costs involved in that. We do have security on site, but we don't want to rule out anything in terms of what could have caused this. We don't want to rule out sabotage. We don't want to rule out maybe attempt to steal cables, because that's one of the problems that is rife in this community. We don't want to rule out any vandalism or any of any sort. So we've got teams of investigators that have gathered evidence, technicians, technical teams as well, to ensure that we go deeper into whatever that could have caused this. So we will be waiting for that report to be released and finalized, and then that will basically guide us as to what really happened here.
City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena, thank you very much for your time. Kathy, as you can see, the men are hard at work here. We're told that even overnight they're going to continue with their work on the ground in trying to restore power, and at least it can be a welcome relief for the residents of Eldorado Park and surrounding areas, that by tomorrow this time around we'll be talking a different story, as City Power has promised that at least by tomorrow the electricity would be restored. Kathy?
It's been a wet and cold long Easter weekend, Katlego. One only imagines exactly how frustrated the residents that have been affected by these power cuts are.